I'd like to invite everyone who's standing to take their seats. And I want to welcome you to the 2013 Minneapolis College of Art and Design graduation. My name is Jay Coogan, and I'm proud to be the president of MCAD. I also want to just give a brief round of applause to Tom, the bagpiper, for serenading us. This is an important day for celebration of hard work, creative excellence, and the beginning of discovering your own sense of purpose. As incoming students, you probably came to MCAD to learn how to craft materials and build on the image-making talents that got you in here. Hopefully, during your time at MCAD, you tried doing work outside of your comfort zone, took some risks, and experimented in this rich, creative environment. I can tell from the fantastic MFA and senior shows that many of you did just that. One thing I hope you discovered here is how you learn how to learn. This is maybe the most critical expertise that you have developed to prepare you for a life in art and design. The visual education we offer is only the beginning of a lifelong engagement with shaping your skills in your chosen art and design practice. As the world changes, you will need to continuously learn what you need to know and be ready to adapt to avoid obsolescence and take advantage of new opportunities. As recent MCAD graduate Kabi Appia gave a wonderful speech to donors and students at our annual scholarship luncheon, he said something that stuck with lots of people who attended. He said, "One of the best things MCAD taught me was to be willing to jump off a cliff and figure out how to build the airplane on the way down." I certainly hope all of you have the confidence in yourself as you take on your first experience as a graduate to do just that. What you learned was one of the benefits of an MCAD education, but who you learned it with was another major feature. One of the best life assets that you've gotten from your MCAD experience is your group of friends and connections. You've gotten to know many students, faculty, and staff, and in some cases have built strong friendships with them. As you leave this community, an important question to ask yourself is, how are you going to keep those friendships going? It is easy when you see them in the halls of MCAD every day. Who do you want to keep in touch with? How much effort are you willing to put into staying connected as you move to different parts of the globe? Who might you start a business with? Who might you help, and who might help you? As you start your professional lives, those first years may be challenging, and your MCAD friends, including all those faculty, staff, and your fellow students, may be instrumental in helping you get started. Graduates, please take a minute to applaud the faculty, staff, and your fellow students who have helped you get this far. As you become part of the larger MCAD alumni community, I hope you will continue to inspire and support each other to succeed in realizing your dreams for yourself and for the world. And there's one other group that you're going to need to applaud. That's your family, who let you pursue an art and design education, helped pay the tuition bills, washed the laundry, sent you the cookies, and packed you in and out of MCAD. Please give a big round of applause for your family. And lastly, I hope you will all continue to envision a better world and use your creativity to build the one you want to live in. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce two people who are on the stage here. Mary Lazarus, chair of the board of the college. Mary. And Karen Worth, vice president for academic affairs. Karen will now present the MFA candidates.
First, I would like to introduce Tom DiBiaso, Director of the Master of Fine Arts program, who will assist in presenting diplomas to our MFA candidates. The candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts will please stand. Upon recommendation of the graduate faculty and president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and as approved by the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to present to you the following candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts.
The Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty and the president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, confers a degree of Master of Fine Arts with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities upon these candidates.
Andrew William Allison. Shannon Estland. Beata Fleischman. Kyle Harabedian. Ping Ji. John Keston. Nicholas Paul Kovac. Stephen Alexander Listwan. Ziwei Liu. Shannon Ryan McCarthy. Kelly Joanna Nelson. Earth Arpatip Padtanarat. Zhangho Park. Ashley Veda Pfeiffer. Mervi Codazal Pueblo. Adam Sutala. Yashu Stefanski. Kate Elise Thomas. Danny Marie Wagner. Juan Wen. Lauren Faith Wilcox. Peng Wu. Jamo K. Zhu. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm ovation to MCAD's MFA class of 2013. I would like to introduce Cindy Gilbert, Director of the Master of Arts in Sustainable Design, who will assist in presenting diplomas to our MA candidates. The candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Sustainability Design will please stand. Upon recommendation of the graduate faculty and president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and as approved by the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to present to you the following candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Sustainable Design.
The Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty and the president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, confers a degree of Master of Arts in Sustainable Design with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities upon these candidates.
Noble Cumming. Dawn Marie Keene. Stephanie Megan Kohler. Shannon Jean Roccola. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm ovation to MCAD's MA class of 2013. It is my pleasure to introduce John Keston, who will speak on behalf of his graduating class.
Before I begin, I would like to thank my class of amazing artists for choosing me to speak here today. It's been a pleasure to have all of you as colleagues for the last 2 years, and I'm excited to experience what you do next. Because although your present work is absolutely amazing, I believe that your best work is yet to come. So thank you. Yeah. Today, and rightly so, we will be congratulated. We will be told to be proud of ourselves. I expect that you are proud of yourselves, deservingly so. I'm proud of myself. We're going to get patted on the back. I'm going to be patted on the back, and it's going to feel good. But it's not about me and it's not about you. I think what we need to do today is reflect upon us. Sociologists have concluded that we are more self-centered today than we have been throughout human history. It's hard to argue against this, and we see it all around us, but self-centeredness, by self-centeredness, I don't mean selfish. We might be generous, compassionate, and caring, yet still sometimes overly self-confident, even narcissistic and entitled. How do we get here? Well, at times like these, it's important to find somebody to blame. And that person is Mark Zuckerberg. You may have heard of him. Of course, I'm kidding. We can't really blame Mark Zuckerberg. It's not his fault that we self-obsess via our Facebook status updates. Neither can we blame Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, for our addiction to social media. The Dalai Lama said, "To make this a century of dialogue, we need to find ways to promote a greater awareness of the oneness of humanity." And the reason I know this is because I follow him on Twitter. So yes, even the Dalai Lama tweets. So if we can't blame the architects of social media, can we blame the tools that they built? Can we blame technology for our self-centeredness? And the answer is, of course, not. Technology is not inherently bad or good. It's made by humans, but it's not human yet. They're working on it. Evolution has been shaping how human beings interact for millennia. We've only had social media for a few decades, if that, and a lot less time than that at the scale that it's reached today. However, we often choose to replace face-to-face, physical space sharing, gestural and verbal communication with sterile interactions mediated through our devices. I'm a musician, and this gives me a regular outlet for our neglected primal forms of communication. Recently, I had the honor of performing with a 12-piece group of exceptional players, including New York's Steve Davis, who gained international recognition playing with jazz greats like Jackie McLean and Chick Corea. Many of us in the ensemble had never shared the stage before, but somehow we communicated with the restraint and generosity necessary to improvise an evening of intricate and empathic music. Afterward, most of us lingered at the venue, grinning from ear to ear and chatting about the magic we just experienced. We had formed an instantaneous community, and although we may never meet again in the same configuration, none of us will forget the adventure. We all don't have to become musicians, although I think that would be amazing. There are lots of ways to benefit from similar community-building experiences. Social media can even help organize these happenings, but social media on its own cannot replace actual events. There's a great, very short book called Program or Be Programmed by media theorist Douglas Rushkoff. In it, he describes 10 commandments for a digital age. These include things like time, not always being plugged in, place, choice, scale, identity, But in the conclusion, he states, our technologies only submit to our own needs and biases once we hack them in one way or another. We are in partnership with our digital tools, teaching them how to survive and spread by showing them how they can serve our own intentions. We do this by accepting our roles as our program's true users rather than subordinating ourselves to them and becoming the used. Now, this probably sounds a lot like the movie Tron, but in many ways we are being subordinated by technology, especially social media. We're all aware of the massive amounts of data being collected about us and exploited by various organizations. Once again, I'm not saying the tools are inherently bad, it's just that most of us have not learned how to hack them yet. They have the power to connect us, but only superficially, filtering out what makes us human, our expressions, our gestures, laughter, even smells. They often leave us more isolated, yet they have the ability to span continents. Some of us are better than others at managing our online personas. But as a society, we have a long way to go. So while we learn and perhaps evolve with these tools that are evolving exponentially, we should not lose sight of what we do best. Participate in communities, share ideas, communicate, and support each other. It's not about you or me, it's about us. None of us would be here without the support of our communities, teachers, families, friends, not the Facebook kind, and loved ones. When steps are taken to improve underprivileged people's lives, it makes society a better place. So we can be helpful for selfish reasons as long as we are helpful. Because when society improves, you benefit. As artists, we're in a unique position to give back to our communities. Isn't that why we do music and art in the first place? We want to communicate something that transcends language and is still understood by our communities at large. There are causes for our self-centeredness. There are theories, studies, and books with titles like Generation Me and The Narcissism Epidemic. This work cites media consumption, technology, and over-encouragement as possible culprits. And it's important because we need to know what the cause of this is, as well as treat the symptom. We can try to do this blame game all we want and be a statistic that supports these trends, or we can try to do something about it. We're all self-centered to one degree or another. It's a human trait. But it's important that we keep it in check. We need to be less self-confident at times. We must doubt ourselves. It's really important to have doubt. And we need to try to put ourselves in other people's shoes. Empathy is something that we used to be better at, I think. And for a very good example, you could take a look at the Dalai Lama. He's a quintessential example of empathy in practice. Rushkoff's book, Program or Be Programmed, will give you insight on how to manage your social media habits. But this all sounds rather negative, and I just want to say that there is absolutely fantastic good news, and that is that all of us, are on the right track. We understand the importance of learning. We've decided to seek knowledge, and our communities have provided us with education. The Dalai Lama said, "Education is the way to achieve far-reaching results. It is the proper way to promote compassion and tolerance in society." And I know this because I follow him on Twitter. Thank you.
I would like to introduce you to the faculty members who will assist in presenting diplomas. Jerry Allen, Chair of the Bachelor of Science in Advertising Programs. Bernard Kniff, Chair of the Design Department. Chris Belden Adams, Acting Chair of the Liberal Arts Department. Michael Carrican, Professor in the Fine Arts Department. Stevie Rexroth, Chair of the Media Arts Department. The candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts will please stand. Upon recommendation of the faculty and president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and as approved by the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to present to you the following candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts.
The Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota, and upon recommendation of the faculty and the president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, confers a degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities upon these candidates.
Evan Charles Abramson, drawing painting, in absentia. Samantha Grace Abermay, animation. Christopher Frank Allday, print paper book. Spencer Amundsen, comic art. Sydney Appleton, graphic design. Alex D. Araiza, filmmaking. Jesse Charles Baker, comic art. Raisa Ballinger, illustration. Rachel Balsatis, illustration. Jason Scott Belden, illustration. Kim Bogeman, illustration. Catherine T. Bolte, animation. Lisa Bueno, illustration. Anne Marie Bush, graphic design. Emily Klingon, drawing painting. Adina Cohen, animation. In absentia. Alexis Cook, comic art. Dane Cree, Fine Art Studio. Kelsey Dusenka, graphic design. Aubrey Eisenwinter, illustration. Kelsey Elder, graphic design. Cassandra Fernandez de Castro, photography. Kaylee Feaston, drawing painting. Hope Margit Elizabeth Finley, graphic design. Lydia Falcon Punch Fusco, illustration. Coleman Gilbert, comic art. Andrea Lauren Goldberg, photography. Tiffany Ann Goodman, graphic design. Dana Granquist, graphic design. Aurelia Ray Gustafson, graphic design. Jacqueline Headland, comic art. Joshua Heffelfinger, graphic design. Andrea Lauren Henning, photography. Mallory Joan Heyer, graphic design. Morgan Alexia Hilber, animation. Theodore J. Hinrichs, animation. Ashley Huey, graphic design. Donna Johnson, photography. Christopher Scott Jurek, photography. Michael Campa, filmmaking. April Kasulis, comic art. Grace Marie Keaton, photography. Kayla Kern, graphic design. Maya Gail Kern, comic art. Kelsey Jean King, illustration. Jenna Klein, photography. Megan E. Nauer, illustration. In absentia. Charles Gordon Boswell Knight, sculpture. Rachel Rose Knoll, web multimedia. Kyle A. Kruger, illustration. Zoya Cruz Wu, illustration. Janessa May Cunninger, illustration. Greer Alexandra Lawson, comic art. Megan Elizabeth Lightshoe, illustration. Cody Jeffrey Lidkey, photography. Ben Lifson, filmmaking. Alyssa Lyles, illustration. Jonathan Ludwig, animation. Joshua alias Manolis, graphic design. Joshua G. Millier, drawing painting. Allison Messimer, animation. Tara E. Miche, drawing painting. Susan Marie Mikotowski, drawing painting. Evelyn Irene Miller, illustration. Audrey K. Moxley, photography. Sherry Mueller, photography. Arthur Nelson, furniture design. Meredith Edna Lucille Oberg, graphic design. Allison O'Brien, comic art. Tracy Jane Olson, illustration. Emily Allison Owens, sculpture. Nicholas Peters, illustration. Michael Peterson, animation. Katina Christos Petsoulas, filmmaking. Emily Rose Pope, photography. Riddy Poo, animation. Charles Arthur Price, illustration. Alex J. Prince, animation. Benjamin Prell, graphic design. Maximilian Alexander Carapel, illustration. Megan Tiana Rakos, graphic design. Jay Raskershek, comic art. Lucas Carlson Rasmussen, comic art. Courtney Reitz, photography. Sarah Rice, drawing painting. Catherine Rivich, graphic design. Jocelyn Schmidt, animation. Aaron Schulte, illustration. George Edward Schultz, drawing painting. Alec P. Schwant, filmmaking. Aliza C. Schiffman, furniture design. Zoe Natasha Schulman, drawing painting. Mason Sklar, illustration. Rebecca Solaris, photography. Ethan Soper, filmmaking. Linnea Rochelle Stefan, photography. Elizabeth Sueli, illustration. Austin P. Swearingen, Fine Art Studio. Olivia Rose Sweet, illustration. Scott Allen Sarkowitz, Sculpture. Heather A. Tatarek, drawing painting. Michelle Carolyn T., Fine Art Studio. Linda Tran, illustration. Lindsay Turner, illustration. Sheila Wagner, drawing painting. Sophie Rose Weil, Fine Art Studio. Heather Ann Williams, Comic Art. Reba Louise Zatz, animation. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm ovation to MCAD's BFA class of 2013. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please stand? Upon recommendation of the faculty and president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and as approved by the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to present to you the following candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science.
The Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota, and upon recommendation of the faculty and the president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, confers a degree of Bachelor of Science with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities upon these candidates.
Dylan J. Adams. Christina Chen. Joy Yvonne Markunis. Anita Y. Sue, visualization in absentia. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm ovation for the Bachelor of Science class of 2013. It is my pleasure to introduce Lydia Fusco, who will speak on behalf of her graduating class.
Hi. How's it going? You all look really good. Also, your parents look good too. If you guys are busy later, let me know. Hey everybody, my name is Lydia Fusco, and I'm gonna keep this really short and sweet for you all because dragging things out never made anybody happy. I mean, you remember Return of the King, right? If you don't, your bladder does. So, I'm gonna save you that trouble by telling you right up front that all I'm going to talk about today are some things that I've learned at MCAD, mostly things that have helped me to be a happier person. So it's gonna be we're gonna take it back to basics a little bit. So here it goes. The top 5 things I've learned at MCAD that have nothing to do with art. Number 1, all you have to do is worry about yourself. And I don't mean be selfish. And I also don't mean push your friend down so the zombies will eat them first. What I mean is if you're going to be critical of yourself. Of course, I don't really recommend that because it's not healthy. But really, if you can't help it, look at yourself first. In life, you're going to encounter people who fangirl about different things than you do and make political Facebook statuses that drive you cuckoo. And it makes you so angry and so bitter. How dare they like that thing? How could they hate that thing that I love so much that I would sell my left kidney to go see? And it becomes the topic of the week. I mean, right? It does. And I know because I'm the most judgmental person there is. I take everything personally and question a person's taste in everything when I find out that they genuinely liked the movie Zookeeper. And so what I've learned is that my life and the world around me would be a much happier place if I would just chill out and focus on myself. My rule is that if a person isn't hurting themselves or anyone else, just let them do their thing, just like they're letting you do your thing. All you have to do is worry about yourself. Number 2, don't sweat the small stuff. There are way too many terrible things happening in this world for you to stress about eating that entire package of Oreos that you shouldn't have eaten. And yes, I do consider that a tragedy. When the boss that you have someday tells you that your jaw makes a weird clicking sound when you eat and that it's disruptive, don't let it ruin your day. Things like that are so small and insignificant that it's not worth wasting even a second dwelling on it. Let me put things in perspective for you. You are one of 7 billion people in this world. In the 5 minutes it took your boss to make you hate yourself, 2,530 babies were born. All of those babies and the billions more to be born after them will outgrow you, and thus that encounter with your boss will be all but lost to history. To put things in even more perspective, our planet is eventually going to be vaporized by our dying sun. So don't sweat the small stuff. Number 3, do what you can to help. I'm not saying join the Peace Corps or jump in front of a subway to save somebody, although somebody did that and it was really cool. What I'm saying is there are a million little things you can do every day to help someone else. That lady can't get the door open because her hands are full of snotty little kids? Great, hold the door open for her. That guy needs 1 extra quarter to afford the swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated? You already did your laundry, hand it over. And here at MCAD, I've learned that doing these little things for people has made all of the difference. And I'd like to say I want to help people because it's the right thing to do, but really, I'm completely selfish because I do it with the hope that these people will eventually pay it forward and, help me out when I need it. And they have. Just by knowing that I've made someone's day, I realize that I've actually made my own day. And I can almost guarantee that you will feel like Oprah. So do what you can to help. Number 4, it's okay to be realistic. And you can take that any way that you please. You're not self-loathing for telling yourself that you're not ready to move to Seattle or that you know your skills aren't where they need to be if you want to work at Disney. It just means that you're being honest with yourself. Walking through life living with delusions about who you are can be okay sometimes. That's how people form dreams and aspirations. I got a couple myself. But being able to be honest with yourself and see where you stand as an individual in a world full of other people is okay too. And this does not mean that just because you're realistic that you don't have to keep trying for things and setting your goals high. Being realistic does not mean putting yourself down. Just because you're not ready now doesn't mean you won't be ready later. Always try. It's okay to be realistic. And number 5, I'm really sorry. I know I said that these all had nothing to do with art, but I lied. This last one is the most important thing I've ever learned at MCAD, and it's that I'm not just an artist. A few weeks ago, I heard a story about a man who said, man, I work at the IRS, but that's not who I really am. I love football. And the woman who told me that story said, well, everybody says that, but by being an artist, that really is who you are. It's different with us. And suddenly I was terrified of being labeled as an artist, just like that IRS man was being labeled as the scum of the earth. And I don't know how anybody else feels in this room, but I certainly don't want to be labeled as anything but Lydia. You don't want to be labeled Lydia, that's my name, but... I am an artist, but that's not who I really am. There's a hell of a lot more to me than just art. I sing, I dance, I'm exceptionally good at mowing the lawn. And somewhere down the line, there is a possibility that I won't even find a career in art. Whether it's because the market is slow or because I've decided to try something new. And I will know that I don't have any reason to feel like a failure because I changed my mind. Because I ended up doing something different. As long as I'm happy, then that's all that matters to me. And so now, kind of hope you guys are seeing the trend here with what I've learned at MCAD. It's all about making yourself happy. That's the point, isn't it? Well, we all came to MCAD to do what we love because it makes us happy. And all I'm trying to say is that if you pair that love and passion for what you do with the other things that make up who you are, you're going to... You're going to live a long and happy life, regardless of what you choose down the road. So, class of 2013, I wish all of you the very best, and I sincerely hope that you keep pursuing what makes you happy. So thank you. Just one more thing. This was the surprise. Okay, good. And also, I just want to thank my parents and my family, because I wouldn't be here literally if it wasn't for them. So, thanks.
Thank you, Lydia. There are many ways to measure the quality of a college, certainly by its graduates whom we honor here today. The great work they have done is also a reflection of the standards set by faculty. I would like to acknowledge a longstanding faculty member for his service to MCAD and his commitment to students as he now transitions to retirement from the college. Dean Wilson, will you please stand? Professor Dean Wilson has taught Foundation 3D and furniture classes at MCAD for 30 years, since 1983. Coming to furniture through sculpture, he built the furniture design major into a nationally recognized program whose graduates have gone on to distinguished graduate programs, started successful businesses, or who share his legacy through teaching. That legacy will also continue for many years to come through the endowed Dean Wilson Art of Making Scholarship. An avid maker, he is also a boat builder, where he brings art, form, and function together. Please join me in a warm ovation for Professor Dean Wilson.
He's one of the reasons I came here. I'm sorry to see him go. John Keston, thanks for bringing up music today. We think of ourselves as a visual art and design school, but I'm sure there are lots of closet musicians out there as well. And today's speaker comes from one of the state's really, I think, great organizations. It's one of those things that makes people really admire Minnesota. Minnesota Public Radio, which has 3 different services, includes news and information, classical music, and the great Current with its indie rock and eclectic music collection. I heard a woo! Yes. And 89.3 The Current has repeatedly been voted the best radio station in town. And what's one of the reasons for this? Our commencement speaker today, Mary Lucia. She has earned her fan base with her work as a broadcast personality, writer, actor, and voiceover talent. Lucia began her media career doing evenings at Rev 105, co-hosted mornings on Zone 105, and hosted a talk show, you'll love this title, called Something Stupid, on 1500 KSTP. From 1998 to 2001, she hosted the local music show, Popular Creeps, a 2-time Minnesota Music Award winner for Best Locally Produced Show. Lucia has been voted Best FM Radio Personality by City Pages 6 years in a row. Good for her. That's great. I love it. In addition to her radio career, she has also appeared in commercials, live theater productions, and the feature film The Last Word. And close to my heart, she hails from Massachusetts, the great state of Massachusetts. The great, great state of Massachusetts, where I happen to come from. Lucia, and I do have to hold this against her, likes cats more than people. I don't like cats. She likes wearing dead people's clothes. I actually sort of like that too. And taking long walks off short piers. I've only done that a few times successfully. Known to fans as the Luch, please welcome Mary Lucia.
Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing here, actually. They asked me, and I was flattered, but I thought, really? And forgive me, I've been in better shape, but I was at First Avenue last night till about 2:30 in the morning. Perhaps some of you were there. It was a show I produced, which I'll get to. Tell you a story quick. About 10 years ago, I was kind of depressed, and somebody made the suggestion that I do something nice for someone, and that might help. And I thought, well, I'll combine some things that I love. And I thought, well, I love David Bowie, and I love cats. And I thought, all right, I'll make a tribute show to David Bowie that benefits a local cat shelter, right? All right, so I booked the band. I booked 26 lead singers, which is like herding squirrels. And I put out the press release, I got a local shelter on board, and 2 days before the show, I got a voicemail saying from the shelter, "We can't be a part of anything with a name as vulgar as that." And I thought, okay, so I got another shelter on board. The next day, the exact same thing happened, and they said verbatim, "The name of the show is so offensive we can't be associated with it." Now, I should tell you that the name of the show is Rock for Pussy. I was hurt because I knew what my intentions were, I knew what was in my heart, and I knew my humor. And I should mention that the night of the show, I played both of their voicemail messages on a loop at First Avenue over and over before the show. Eventually, though, I hooked up with Feline Rescue, who didn't care if I had called the show my big vagina rock show. They would have cashed my smut money anyway, so. Lesson 1, don't compromise, because you gotta wait for somebody who gets you, somebody who knows what your intentions are, someone who knows your heart and knows your humor. They are out there. A lot of people ask me, how did you get started in radio? And they ask me because they maybe wanna get in radio, and I always say the same thing. I say, well, don't do what I did. I was living in New York, and I was studying theater at NYU, and I had this huge realization. I hate actors. All I wanted to do was go to rock shows. The greatest gift that I ever received was from my next-door older neighbor, Diane Martini. She moved away, and before she did, she dropped her state ID into my parents' mailbox for me. Basically, we were both female and Italian, and that's where the similarities began and ended, but I put good use to that sucker. I went to rock shows and punk rock shows, and once at a replacement show in New York, I was with some friends, we were dancing, we were rocking out, and we got this tap on the shoulder to sit down. And we turned around, and it was actor Matt Dillon. And my friend said, "No way, man, you're not watching television." And I've always respected him for that ever since. Now, I had heard when I was living in New York that there was a radio station that was launching by some famous club DJ in Minneapolis, and I did what I would never recommend anyone do, because now it's called stalking. I called directory assistants, city and state, Minneapolis, Minnesota, what listing, Kevin Cole. Now, I just cold called him. I didn't know him, he didn't know me, and I was calling from a payphone in the hallway at the YMCA where I lived because I didn't have a phone in my room. And we ended up talking for like an hour and a half, and I told him, I was honest, I said I have absolutely no experience. I've done some voiceover work, but I'm incredibly passionate about music. I'm curious, and I love talking to strangers. And he said, well, why don't you come out and interview in Minneapolis? And I said, fine. I came out, we interviewed, he hired me for weeknights, 7 to midnight. I quit college right then and there. And I came to work in the stable career of radio. And that is sarcasm, because I have been fired from some of the coolest radio stations in town. And my point is that you have to look for that renegade spirit. It's somebody who's going to take a chance on you, somebody who sees something in you that maybe you don't even see yourself, and it's scary, but the payoff can be huge. Now, years later, and several radio jobs later, I heard that NPR was launching a music station, and I called the program director. This time I did know him. And I said, you know, I'm not dead yet. I'm not drinking Scope under the Lake Street Bridge. And he said, well, come in, audition, you know? And I wasn't offended. I thought, well, I've been doing radio for 15 years. He wants me to audition. What the hell? I'll do it. And he offered me the afternoon drive show, which I'm doing 8.5 years later, still doing. And now, he was quite conservative, and one day I just had to break format. I just had to hear AC/DC's Highway to Hell. I had to, and I played it. And he came rushing into the studio, completely ashen-faced, and said to me, "Promise me you will never do that again." And I said, I can't promise you that. I cannot promise you that. Instead, what I did was I pitched him an idea for a feature where I could play one song a day that I wanted to hear, no matter how stupid it is, no matter how it breaks format. I wanted to call it No Apologies, which is bigger than just a radio feature for me. It's how I choose to live my life. I like what I like, what I like. I have no guilty pleasures. And my point is, if you want to do something that doesn't exist, create it and convince someone you are the person to do that job. If you have this idea in your head of a job that maybe doesn't exist on paper, create it and make someone believe that you're the person to do it. And now, I'd like to play you the No Apologies track. Now, Kate did ask me to give this speech, and I said, can I play an inspirational song? And she said, well, we don't really normally do that. And I countered with, well, it's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. Of course, I didn't tell her what the actual song was, but when I hear this song, I want to make something or break something, and I'm just dying to hear it blasting out of these speakers at your graduation. So without further ado, here is your today's No Apologies track, and I invite you to stand up and bang your head. Okay, we all feel better now. Whew. Now, on my first night at Rev 105, my very first job in radio back in 1994, I didn't even know how the board worked. I felt like I'd had a stroke, like the left side of my body was numb. And they threw a live band on with me and said, here, you got to interview this band. And I thought, oh my God, I don't know anything about them. And I thought, well, instead of just admitting, I got to quit smoking. I thought, instead of admitting that I don't know anything about them, I'm just not going to ask them anything about their music, which sort of created this style of interviewing that I incorporate to this day. And I interview a ton of bands at my job today. And frankly, I ask questions that I want to hear, not how's your tour, how's your record. It's more like, who would you be more afraid to see crouching under your bed at night? Miles Davis or Abe Lincoln? And when an interview is really tanking, which happens frequently, I don't try to save it. I usually go for one of my questions like, if you were to lose both of your arms at the elbow in a horrible farming accident or something, and your choice was to have nothing, no hooks or prosthesis or anything, or you could have a chihuahua's paw surgically attached at the elbow, which would you choose? Now, there is a correct answer to that, and that would be, of course, because you'd be the dude with the chihuahua paws with the little black toenails clicking on the wooden floor. In closing, I just want to tell you my favorite quote, which I try and live by every day. It's from my hero, Nick Cave, who once told an interviewer, "Who knows? My life could be quite interesting if you ask the right fucking questions." Thank you so much, and congratulations. Rock on!
Mary, thanks. That was fabulous. You just converted a bunch of people who may not be listeners into definite listeners now. That's a tough act to follow, but I don't have to do it. Janet Gronert, who's chair of the alumni board, is coming up to introduce the recipient of the 2013 Alumni Achievement Award. Janet?
Okay, well, we can't beat that, can we? On behalf of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, it's my pleasure to present this year's MCAD Alumni Achievement Award. This award is presented to an MCAD alumni who has distinguished him or herself in their field and has made lasting and significant contributions to the world of art and design. MCAD is known for its innovative spirit and its ability to transform the communities around it. And this year's recipient of the Alumni Achievement Award certainly exemplifies these values. I'm pleased to present this year's Alumni Achievement Award to Monica Little, class of 1978. For more than 3 decades, Monica set the vision and direction for Little & Company, a design and branding business she founded less than a year after graduation from MCAD. In that time, Monica and her team has inspired creative and powerful design solutions for clients such as Target, Microsoft, Wells Fargo, and the American Craft Council. Her creative work has been recognized by the New York Art Directors Club, AIGA, American Advertising Federation, ID Magazine, among many others. As passionate as Monica is about her work, she is equally passionate using her talents to support a larger good. She served on the boards of the Minnesota Center for the Book Arts, the Girl Scout Council of Greater Minneapolis, Way to Grow, and most recently, the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. For her work as an entrepreneur, a design leader, a creative spirit, and a purpose-driven creator, I'm honored to recognize Monica today with this Alumni Achievement Award.
Thank you so much. I'm really humbled and honored to receive this, and I gotta say it's the best looking award I've ever gotten. You can tell it comes from an art school. I just wanted to remind all of you graduates today that you have shifted. You are no longer a student, now you are an alum. And to encourage you to stay connected to the school so that we can all keep making it a better place every single year, and so that others can get the kind of education that you've all gotten. I wish you the greatest success for happiness and a fruitful career. Thank you.
This year, 5 Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Awards will be given to graduating students who have exhibited outstanding creative ability. The pool of applicants includes December 2013 graduates. In 1923, with income from an endowment fund established by Ethel Morrison Vanderlip, MCAD established the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Scholarship. This award was to be given to students who completed their formal training and displayed high personal character, diligence, and application in work, and artistic ability of exceptional promise. An award of $2,500 will be given to one student from each of the college's undergraduate studio departments, one from the Bachelor of Science program, one from the MFA program, and one from the MA program. It is our hope that the recipients of these awards will use the scholarships for travel and study that will benefit their professional careers. The task of selecting the students to receive awards from such a strong and distinctive class of artists and designers was difficult. Among the criteria considered were originality of ideas, imaginative problem solving, and skillful execution. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in the MFA program is Mervy Pueblo. You need to come up and get this. Okay, I'm going to announce the next one, and you need to come up and get the letter from me. It's my fault. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in the MA program is Noble Cummings. Congratulations. You're welcome. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Fine Arts is Austin Swearingen. Congratulations. You're welcome. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Media Arts is Rachel Knoll. this year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Design is Mallory Heyer. And finally, this year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Bachelor of Science in Advertising program is Emily Keenan. Would you please join me in recognizing these artists and designers?
Okay, we're nearly done. Those of you who've been holding it in, you'll get to go to the bathroom. First of all, I want to thank all of our speakers today. The job of a president is to do the worst speech so everybody else looks good. I think I did a good job this year. I also want to invite everyone back to the main building at MCAD to look at the commencement exhibition and join us for a reception in the main building. I also want to let you know that there are animation and film screenings that will take place in the auditorium 150, the big auditorium, at 5:30 and 6:30, so be sure and see those. There's some really great work. I would ask that everybody stay in your seats while the stage party goes out first, and then followed by students, and then all of you who are in. Oh, sorry. Yes, I think I need a new pair of glasses. I couldn't see that. The graduates. Thank you all for coming today. It's really been a pleasure to have you all here. Please, let's have one more round of applause to celebrate the graduates of 2013.